Boom! What is going on, rising entrepreneurs? I am so excited to be on this call with you guys. Oh man, what's up, baby girl? You gonna hop on and say what's up to the people?
Hi.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We are getting to the holidays. I got this little girl here with me. We're about to go on some adventures, go visit the family in Toronto. So we fly out tomorrow. But in this live, what we're going to talk about is entrepreneurship and what entrepreneurship has actually done in my life and how in 2020 entrepreneurship can change your life. Becoming an entrepreneur can be the difference between living the average life, right? Being poor, being broke, right? Or living the life of your dreams. All right, kids, I need you guys to go upstairs, please, because I got to finish this video. Your phone is, I'm not sure now, but you guys got to go upstairs right now.
You lost it?
Nope, it's not lost.
Yep, you lost it.
Can you go upstairs, please? Thank you. I love you guys. Kids, it's the holidays. But yeah, guys, actually what I wanted to do is talk about entrepreneurship because for me, and let me explain to you guys a little bit about my journey and how I've come into this space of the business world, because it's been a crazy ride. When I was 17 years old, graduating high school, I was made to make a decision, right? It was time that I made a decision. What did I want to do with my life? What was I going to become? Did I want to go into the workspace or did I want to go to school, right? And if I was going to go to school, what was I going to learn? Now, my parents, for a lot of you guys who are immigrants that are out here in North America, you guys can definitely relate, because essentially our parents have the very traditional mindset where you go to school, right? You get good grades, you get a job, right? And then from that's where you're going to be able to live comfortably and not have any financial burdens or worries. Now, this is not the reality, right? Those times have passed, right? We're in a different era, especially now coming into this new decade of 2020. It's not the same as 1970 and 1960, right? And so those same philosophies and those same principles and how you view the economy don't apply in today's era, right? Some of those fundamentals do, but not all of it, right? And so I decided to take the school approach, right? My parents were on me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to become the smartest guy, make some connections, and boom, we're going to be made. By the age of 23, I would have graduated, have my own crib, you know what I mean? Have my car, working a nice job, we chilling. That was not the reality at all. I went to school and literally I wasn't prepared for the workload that being in university was going to bring. Not only did that happen, but essentially, I ended up not knowing what path to take, right? And I decided to go into business admin, BA, right? Because you know what? If I'm going to make a lot of money, it's got to be in the world of business, right? And so that's what I did. Now, for a lot of you guys that don't have the opportunity to go to school, for a lot of you guys that don't have the chance to get the education and learn the background of what is actually molding and building our economy, right? I want to help you guys out. I want to change your life, because at the end of the day, the education that I received helped me properly understand what's really going on in this world, right? People are using terms and definitions to hide the actual essence of what's going on, right? If I talk to you about the bear market or the bull market, do you know what that means? And if you do, you're part of a select few. If you don't, that's very understandable because it's set up that way. Anyways, going to school, I was all in, right? Not only was I in business school, I was in basketball, right? I played basketball for my varsity team. And so my scheduling was all over the place. And time management was one of those skills that really, really held me back growing up, right? And so I needed to learn how to master that. If I was going to play varsity basketball and be the best athlete I possibly can, right? Not only do I have to hold that, I also got to hold what's going on at home, right? After my first year in university, my parents left. And so it was literally just me and my brothers, right? And so not only did I have to take care of what's going on the court, I had to take care of what's going on at home and then also take care of what's going on in school. Now, all of this time, we're not talking about work yet, right? And so essentially in my journey in school, I came across a select few, right? I learned about marketing. I learned about branding. I learned about what an organization really is. And we're going to dive into all of that, especially based on the questions that I've been receiving, because now that I've ran my own business for the last 4 to 5 years, right, I've started multiple businesses and failed multiple businesses, right? But essentially it is because of those failures that I'm here and where I am today. At 28 years old, I'm about to be 29, and my goal is to be able to make $1 million before the age of 30, right? And we're almost there, especially with what we're putting in place come 2020. Anyways, that's for another discussion. But I'm excited because I want to talk to you guys about entrepreneurship, right? Because a lot of the times, especially now, entrepreneurship has this preconceived notion, these hidden like underlying beliefs that if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I got to drive the nicest car. I got to have the biggest house. I got to have drop money on whatever I can, the nicest clothes, the nicest gear. And like in reality, that idea of entrepreneurship was put in place by the media, was put in place by movies, right? And the reason why is because they know that people are attracted to that. People are emotional about that. And seeing that type of stuff will open the mind of an individual to that life, right? But here's the thing is that right now, to date, there are 1,700 millionaires made every day. And here's the thing is you will not hear about most of them. 99% of them you will never hear about. Right. And the reason why is because, number one, they're very focused on their craft. Right. And for them, it's about just getting the job done. Right. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's about getting the job done. Not only that, it's not about this flashiness. It's about solving problems. How can you really help this economy? What can you add? How can you bring value to this economy? Right. Whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, like how? What can you do, right? And so essentially stepping into this world of entrepreneurship, it really opened my mind. And essentially how it happened was, I remember my third year of university, I started a business with a few classmates of mine. And we were coming up with a clothing company. It was going to be the hottest clothing company on campus. Not only that, we were going to take it internationally. This was going to be our chance, right? Because we were tired of just taking these concepts and applying them to case studies. Why not take these concepts and apply them to something in real life? This was my first constructive step into the business world. I had a group of 4 individuals that we partnered up with to start this clothing company. We went to work. We were talking about the logo, talking about the name, talking about the company motto. We were talking about the business plan. We broke everything down into detail. And this was the first time that I had actually tapped into a mastermind, right? And it blew me away because at 20 years old, here I am starting this company, right? That's going to make a massive impact in the world. Little did I know that within the group of us, one of the guys that we were working with essentially had other plans, right? And around the time that we went to launch, the whole project ended up disappearing. Little did I know that he had taken the project, launched it on his own, and had started pulling revenue. And the reason why was because he was advised to do so. The profit that you would make off selling a t-shirt is around $3 to $5. If you're splitting that between 4 or 5 people, how long will it take for you as an individual to actually make a profit, make an income off of this? It's nearly impossible. Now, I don't believe that. I believe there's always ways to solve problems. It's about the brand. How could you establish a sufficient brand? It's not just about one piece of clothing. Anyways, and so that experience really, really hurt me. But because of the adversity that I had learned about in basketball, right? I remember I got cut from a basketball team and it broke my heart. And I went to the coach and asked why. Why did I not make the team? What did I do wrong? What were these other players doing better than me? And how can I change that? And he told me, and that advice changed my life. Okay, because think about it. When I discovered that there was a business mentor, there was an advisor that was essentially on the outside spearheading, giving advice to this organization, and that was the cause of the decision to venture off on his own and launch it, which I respected 100%, right? It broke my heart, but it is what it is. This is the world that we live in, right? And so I decided to take that failure and turn it into something beautiful, right? And that's essentially what happened. That business advisor, I sought him out, right? And I discovered who he was, right? And I learned that he was actually donating his time to the school. The school couldn't afford to pay him because of who he was. I went to a private school where you paid almost $3,000 to $5,000 for one class. For those of you guys that understand university, you need to take a minimum of 3 to 4 courses in one semester. A semester is 4 months, right? So if you're taking 4 courses and you're paying $3,000 or $5,000 for 4 courses, that is 20 G's right there in one semester, right? So this was a very expensive school. Now, this school couldn't afford to pay it. This guy had helped Starbucks launch. This guy worked with Microsoft. This guy had helped governments, that helped financial institutions be able to hone in on their systems and create income efficiently. This guy was featured on Forbes magazine. When I discovered all this stuff, I was like, whoa, I need to learn I need to know what he knows. And my biggest advice to anybody that's out there, and you guys have probably heard this, if you're following this channel or if you're following this or you're watching this video, it's because you want to get into business for yourself, right? You understand that at the end of the day, in order for you to change your life, you need to become an entrepreneur, and you need to do it efficiently, and you need to do it effectively, especially with what's going on in 2020, right? So how can you make that possible? How? We're going to discuss all of that. We're going to discuss what entrepreneurship is. And I actually took some time to take some notes because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So, I mean, y'all, this is my notes right here. I'm going to be looking at it from time to time. Don't judge me. It's all good. We all ain't perfect. I ain't going to memorize it. No, at this point. But essentially, I wanted to talk about entrepreneurship, right? What is entrepreneurship? If you actually look it up, you could Google it if you want, right? Entrepreneurship is the activity of setting up a business or businesses and taking on financial risk in the hope of creating profit, right? So it's a person, the activity of setting up businesses. If you are in entrepreneurship, if you are an entrepreneur, you are somebody who sets up businesses and takes on financial risk in the hopes of creating profit. Right now, a lot of people don't understand that. You like, oh, I want to be a businessman. I want to be an entrepreneur, right? Listen, entrepreneurship is not just about online marketing. Entrepreneurship is not just about starting a store. Entrepreneurship is more than all of that, right? There are so many ways to create revenue, right? There are so many ways to create revenue. You just have to be creative, and you have to understand the system and how the system works, okay? And so once you have that dialed in, right? Once you understand what branding is, once you understand how to cultivate a culture, right? Once you understand the concepts of product and services and how you can leverage product and services to essentially create a massive movement that follows your brand, right? Understanding what the markets are, understanding trends and the indicators that happen within the markets that give those higher level entrepreneurs, those billionaires and millionaires, the opportunity to invest in things ahead of the curve, right? Because if you can see the trend, before it actually happens, that's where you're going to bank. That's where you're going to make the most amount of money, right? And it doesn't matter what industry you step into. I have my own business. I run my own online business. And the reason why is because I find it to be the most efficient and most effective way to get off the ground. Right? If you're somebody who's just getting started, you haven't made $1 million, you haven't made 10 million, right? We have an amazing tool at our fingertips, our cell phones, our laptop that we can use to essentially bring in income. Why not tap into that, right? Why have to go out and invest 50, 100, 300, 500, 1,000 to start up a business? Not everybody has the opportunity to be a Gary Vee, right? And have their father already running $1 million business. Not everybody has the opportunity to get hand down knowledge, right? Some people have to create it, right? And this is our opportunity. That's why I love Gary Vee so much, because he understands that, right? Right now, if you look at where I'm at 28 years old, I have roommates, right? We have a house, we have roommates, right? And essentially I'm doing what I can to grind, save money, right? I have a daughter. You saw my beautiful little girl. I'm doing what I can to provide for her, right? And so at the end of the day, I know that by the age of 30, I got 2 years. By the age of 30, there are some amazing things that I could accomplish when I put my mind to it, right? When you understand that it's your habits, it's your daily habits that you do on a day-to-day basis that are actually going to bring you your results. It's not this flash, it's not this flare. You don't have to have the nicest. It's about having a goal, having a vision, seeing that goal, seeing that vision, and stepping into that greatness, coming outside of people are going to judge me, people coming outside of the rejection, coming outside of, oh, it's going to be hard, I don't know how, right? The know-how doesn't matter. You can discover the know-how. You have to understand the why. Why is it that you're doing what you're doing, right? Once you get that, then you can step into understanding the stocks and the investments and IPOs and portfolios and holding accounts and ROIs and all of that. If you don't understand that, if you don't understand the basic principle that an asset is going to be what takes you over the top, you need to have an asset. Regardless of what industry you're in, they talk about assets all the time. Athletes talk about how they're assets. Musicians talk about how they're assets. Singers, right? Rappers, they talk about how they're assets. It's about owning assets. Real estate, that's an asset, something that's going to bring in revenue, something that's going to keep the lights on, right? When you are an asset or have assets, that's when you can really turn your life around, right? And so if you are somebody who is just stepping into this online space, just stepping into this entrepreneurial journey, I'm so jealous of you. And the reason why is because you have everything available to you. There is no shortage of resources, right? A lot of the times, and I get this all the time, people ask me questions, right? People ask me questions. They send me emails and say, Nee, I see that you're crushing it. How? How did you get to this point? What could I do, right? And a lot of the times you hear people say, I don't got money. I don't have any money, right? And I resonate with that, but I also want to be really real with you guys and say that a lot of that is your mindset, right? Because money is something that is constantly moving, constantly flowing. It never stays still. There is always an exchange when it comes to money. Money is always being transferred from one person to another. The reason why you say that you are broke or you don't have any money is because you don't understand that you need to become a person of value so that it doesn't matter whether you have physical money in your bank account, that once you have that value and you can exchange that value for money, then you are that person. Because here's the thing, a lot of people come across money. You can get into an accident and get a huge sum of money. You can have your oven blow up and get $1 million. You can win the lottery, but here's the thing, if you are not that person of value, that money is not something that comes in consistently. If you don't have that investment, you're not going to have that income that comes in consistently. And the best investment you can have is the investment in yourself, right? And so once you understand all of this stuff, right? Once you understand that, okay, I need to be a person of value. What can I give to my community? What can I give to the market? What can I give to the economy so that I, as a person, can increase my value so that the money that I have coming in is greater, right? Personal development. And if you want to start a business and you're not willing to take the financial risk, that is what entrepreneurship is about. You can't get into business without money. Value. Business is the exchange of value. Money for something else. Product, services, there's always an exchange, right? And so if you can't hone in on that and be comfortable with taking risk, then maybe entrepreneurship is not for you, And maybe you should just stick to the 9 to 5 and be secure. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People like that are necessary, right? I believe it shouldn't be 90% of people. I believe there are definitely people who are entrepreneur minded, especially this new wave of individuals that are coming through, stepping into the marketplace, right? If you're just getting out of university, just getting out of college, maybe you went from school or you went from high school straight to work. And now this is something that you're like, ooh, maybe I should step into something and create something of my own. Then like, you're in the perfect place because now is the time, especially come 2020, right? And so I condone that. And like I said, I'm jealous of that individual. I'm jealous of you because at the end of the day, if you just hone in on the resources, on everything that you have available, and put aside the money, stop thinking about the money. If you are somebody of value, you can raise money. You can get somebody to invest in your vision. You can make that happen, but you need to be the person of value. How can I add value to your life? How can you add value to your life? I'm going to do everything I can. I have an amazing series coming out. It's called Ask King. Ni, in my language, means king, right? It's royalty. And so I am royalty. I hold myself at that level. I hold myself accountable to be at that level because I believe that there's a standard that every individual should have. And so a lot of my friends are the same, right? You meet the people that I surround myself with, they are all very driven. You see the sparrow in the back. A lot of the people that I surround myself with think they're kings, think they're queens, right? And they act accordingly and they hold themselves to that stature in society, right? And so I have an amazing series coming out called Ask King. And on there, we're going to talk about anything and everything. Royalty, palace, empire, legacy. We're going to discuss all of it. Because I believe that if you have a vision for what you want your life to be, if you can conceive it, right? If you have that in your imagination and you really want to bring that forward, I want to do what I can to help, right? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are out there. Like I said, 1,700 millionaires are made every day. How many of you have the opportunity to speak to one of them? A lot of them are going to make you pay 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 just to have a discussion with them. I'm going to give you all that information on here for free. Ask King. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be epic. All right, guys. I'm so excited. If you guys have any questions, please submit them to me. Right? If you're watching this on YouTube, awesome. Submit them to me. I love them in video form. I love to see your face. I love to see your name and attach that to a face and be able to get that question raw. I might even showcase you on here and answer your question like that. And so if you have any questions, ask. I'm going to begin the series. It's going to be epic. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the holidays. 2020. It's going to be epic. Peace.